6 years ago, I was chronically anxious, and I'm so grateful that happened to me because I don't think I would have changed my life so much if I hadn't been so desperate for relief. Anxiety completely changed my life from the inside out because it transformed my relationship with myself. That relationship is now built on acceptance, self-compassion, and trust. And I share a lot of this in my online course, Yin Yang Elemental Wisdom for Anxiety Relief. If this sounds like something that would interest you, the link is in the description below. So the number one reason I'm grateful for my anxiety is that it led to meditation. I tried everything, and that's how I started meditating. So I began meditating every day, and I learned to listen to the voice in my head. I don't think I'd ever been fully aware of how I speak to myself until I started meditating. In the book, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, he refers to the voice in your head as your inner roommate. And he asks this great question. He says, if your inner roommate was a real person, would you be friends with them? My answer was no way. The voice in my head was so cruel. It was so judgmental, critical, and had no empathy for me whatsoever. I did not need a friend like that. Yet it's so ironic because we always listen to that voice and we follow what it says and we depend on it and trust it. And no wonder I was so anxious. No wonder I was living in so much fear. The voice in my head was making things so much worse than it needed to be, and I wasn't getting any relief. I wasn't getting a break from all of this negativity because it lived in my mind. So for the first time, I realized that I need to change my self-talk. I need to change the voice in my head. This experience, this whole process was so new to me. It was so foreign to me because I don't think I've ever seen or heard compassionate self-talk being modeled. So I didn't know how to speak to myself if I were to speak to myself kindly. So it took a lot of practice. I had to completely retrain myself. I had to unlearn all the negative self-talk. And I had to take on all this new vocabulary. At first it was really embarrassing and cringy because I'd never said things like, I love you, I'm listening, I'm here for you. It was all new to me and it was really uncomfortable at first. But then I got used to it because I practiced every day. So part of my practice was proactively replacing negative self-talk with compassionate self-talk. So all throughout the day, I would practice catching myself, catching those moments when I say cruel things to myself. So for example, I would say something like, why are you still anxious? Why can't you just get over it? And this is actually how I used to speak to myself. So I would pause in that moment and I would very quickly replace that with something like, it's okay, take your time, I'm here for you. And this might not sound like a lot, but it completely reprogrammed my mind. And it allowed me to create this really safe and supportive environment within myself. And now I had two new tools that would help me to show up for myself. Meditation gave me the tool of awareness, and self-compassion gave me this new language, this new, kind, loving language that I could use towards myself. So with these two tools, I could then show up for myself in every moment of the day. So I became really proactive in checking in with myself and immediately responding at the onset of anxiety. So as I continued my meditation practice, I started becoming more and more aware of how I'm feeling. I became more sensitive to the first signs of anxiety. So whenever I would feel those familiar anxious feelings creeping up in my body and my mind, I would immediately sit down somewhere, put my hand on my heart, put my hand on my belly, and whisper compassionate words to myself. I would say things like, you're safe, I love you, I'm here for you. And by showing up for myself consistently, I then began to trust myself. I trusted that no matter what happened, no matter how uncomfortable and painful any situation becomes, I know that I will always be there for myself. I will show up and I will support myself. I became my best friend, my partner, my therapist, and this was so important for my relationship with myself. And not only that, I got used to listening to myself and trusting what I hear. So in the past, I used to second guess myself, doubt myself a lot, and not listen to my inner voice. A lot of that was because I was so conditioned to looking for the answers outside of myself. I wouldn't ask myself what I want to do or how I want to live my life. I would look to other people to see what they're doing. I would search for the answers in other people. But through the process of soothing my anxiety, I learned to listen to myself. And I learned that actually there's a lot of wisdom inside of me. And if I ask, I do have the answers. And self-soothing my anxiety also helped me to believe that I do have the answers, I can help myself, and that I am trustworthy. Because I wasn't relying on anyone else to help me feel better. I was doing it myself, and I was doing a really good job of it. So I really reconnected with myself and created this deep, unshakable bond. And this is what continues to change my life from the inside out. It's like you have a safe space to return to all the time. A lot of uncomfortable things happen to us. It can be our thoughts, our emotions, circumstances outside of ourselves, other people. But no matter what happens, you can always return to that space inside of you, that voice inside of you that will welcome you and soothe you and be on your side. And that is what has helped me to live life on my own terms. So I'm a meditation guide, and I never imagined that I would be doing this. If you told me 6 years ago that I would be guiding meditations and that I would be on YouTube, I would have laughed in your face. But because I feel safe on the inside, I feel safe to explore my interests and try out new things that I previously thought wasn't possible for me. So I once heard that if you feel unsafe on the inside, the world will feel unsafe for you. And if you feel safe on the inside, the world will become a safe place for you. And I absolutely think that's true. And that's what I've experienced in the process of soothing my anxiety. And this is what I talk about in my course. I talk about anxiety being an invitation to reconnect with yourself. Because anxiety is really a manifestation of a lack of self-acceptance. When we don't accept ourselves as a whole, and we try to reject or ignore certain parts of ourselves, then we become fractured on the inside, and we're always in conflict because we're always fighting ourselves, we're hurting ourselves. And this creates a really hostile environment in our inner landscape that becomes a breeding ground for anxiety. So anxiety is the body's way of telling you that it's time to return back to yourself. It's time to listen to yourself, to connect with yourself. So thanks to my anxiety, I've learned to accept myself. I've learned to accept the parts of me that I've once wanted to hide from others and also myself. And that self-acceptance has really nurtured a loving, compassionate relationship with myself. So that's why I'm grateful for my anxiety, and I'm also grateful that I can share my experience with you.